Hey, in this video, I'm going to cover how we can basically run a query on ACE data model using fragments and how fragments can be useful to better organize our code and remove duplicate content in our payloads. Okay, so I will be using the ACE data model explorer. I already logged in, I already signed in, acquire the hubs, projects, and the element groups. And from this point, I'm going to query two specific element groups. Let me use two element groups that have walls. So I'll use this one, architectural, and as the other ones, node on, also architectural. Wait, which one? This is node on, and RAC. I should have an RAC here. Yeah, this one, basic sample project. So first of all, let's write our query. We need to define first the fragments. And to define the fragment, we need to start with this word fragment. And then let me call it walls filter. In the fragment, it will work on top of element groups. And inside the fragment, we have basically all our code, all our query that is being repeated. So instead of adding this content, we'll always refer to these walls filter over here. So what I want to retrieve for each one of my individual element groups is the elements. And I want to add a filter, let's say a filter that will use a query. And in this query, let's say I'll have I only want the elements where the property name category value is equal to walls. Awesome, so far so good. So from this, I want to retrieve the results. For each result, I want to retrieve the name and the properties. And for each one of my properties, I want to obtain the name, the value, and the definition, including the name of the units. Awesome. Now that I have my fragments, I can start writing my query. In this query, let me call it walls from element groups. And I'm going to use two variables. I need to pass the element groups IDs. So let me call it element group ID 1. It will be an ID and it's required. And the second one is element group ID 2. Let me just copy this, replace with 2. It is an ID and it is required. And now I'm going to run my query using my fragment. So first of all, I'm going to query this node on element. So I'll use here an alias. This alias is to retrieve the elements by element group at tip, elements by element group. Sorry, not this. I want to retrieve the element group at tip. And this query requires the element group ID. So let me use for this one, the element group ID 1. And in here, for this element group, I want to retrieve the name and all of this information. So I can just, instead of writing all of that, I can just refer to my fragments. Okay, and I can do the same this time. Instead of Snowdon, let me call it RAC. And instead of element group 1, I'm going to call it, use the element group ID 2. In my variables, I need to specify both of my element groups, the element group ID 2 and the element group ID 1. Element group ID 1 is node on, so node on architectural is here, and element group ID 2 is RAC. RAC basic simple project is this one. And as soon as I do that, I have all the information I specified with the field. I also identified as an alias here. And I avoided duplicating all of this content for each one of the individual queries. If I used one filter, I could not be that specific. If you combine filters with fragments, you have a more structured and organized code addressing a wide range of scenarios, okay? So that's it. Hope you find it useful.